What is up, everyone? I hope you've all had a great start to your week. Today, we're going to be looking at what is going on with Bitcoin. Is it a fake out like I've been talking about, or are we going to all of a sudden turn bullish, and what to look for in the charts and when to look for it so that you are on the right side of the ball? Other than that, we're going to look at RIO DeFi, what's coming up, and a new project that you may or may not have ever even heard of that I think is going to be a banger. Let's get started.
Fat kiddo.
Today, we're going to look at Bitcoin. Are we going to fake out or are we not? Let's jump right in and see. Here we can see a couple things that I want to highlight for you. One of them is this. You see this Kijinsen, how it's going up? And this Tenkan is not going down, but it looks like it might cross in the next 5 days. If that crosses, it makes a bearish TK cross. We also have a bearish Chiku span because this Chiku, which is 30 periods back, is below the candlesticks above. That's bearish, okay? So if we have that and we're basically coming into the cloud still, that also would be quite bearish. And the fact that another confluence factor is we had 5 things, right? We have the top of the Kumo, which acted as resistance, the 21-day EMA acted as resistance, the Kijin acted as resistance, and the level acted as resistance. And I'm going to show you guys another thing. My buddy Trader XOXO, you probably know him from Twitter. This is also the BB. The midline of the BB is also acting as resistance. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of resistance all at one time, which should tell you quite a sum of information, right? We also have this pending bearish TK cross. We have a bearish Chiku span. So the reason why I'm staying on a short-term bearish is that because it does look like we're in that fake out. The last piece of the puzzle for this is this potential shooting star. Now we have 17.5 hours. This could change, but it's stuff to look for. Now, I've been in a 2x short, added to it little by little, haven't put my big stack in yet. I'm waiting to see how this reacts today. If this reacts and closes as a shooting star, I will definitely be adding to my short at least double what I have in it right now. And the reason is because I add little bit by a little bit because I knew we'd probably fake out. I knew we'd get above it. I knew CT and everyone would get bullish. And that is why I'm still looking for potential bearish movements. Because when everyone gets bullish like crazy out of nowhere, just as I said, they got bearish out of nowhere, usually turns around. Market Psychology 101. So that's what you're looking for with Bitcoin. Watch to see how this daily closes. If we close above this level at 10,800 and we retest without doing what happened on September 2nd, where we didn't retest, we just shot right below, because right here was our level at 11.9. Right? I have it turned off right now, but at 11.9 we had this level, and the next day we didn't retest, we just did one of these. I think we're going to have another one of these soon right here to make another Bart Simpson. We had one here, Bart, another Bart, and come back down a little bit lower, and that's what I'm expecting. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but this is my confluence, and these are all the reasons for it. Bitcoin dominance, what we're looking at here, it's it's below this level right here, which we break this level and it's all season, which we did. We've had pretty much a long, nice alt season so far. It's starting to come back, but nothing really serious. I mean, some people would call this a double bottom, but there's not enough time between the days. Usually double bottoms take a minimum 2 weeks to a month. So that I'm not really confident on that. And, I think that, Bitcoin dominance is going up right now because all the alts are pretty wrecked compared to Bitcoin moving up, which is odd. It hasn't happened like that for a little bit of time. So watch for it because it could do another fake out like we see here and then come back down. But remember, I'm bearish on Bitcoin, and that likely scenario plays out. We'll see it drop even lower. Now, the CME gap we did close beautifully, and look at that. We have another confluence factor on the CME that we could likely do this up and down and then shoot higher. So this is what we're looking for at Bitcoin. Ethereum, very much of the same thing. We're starting to see the Kijin, the future Kijin, pop up a little bit. Now, ETH is less bearish than Bitcoin technically right now because we are above the cloud and we're holding that level of support. We're also holding the Kijin as support so far. But why do I have this arrow drawn down? It's because simply we have right here a fake out on Ethereum. Okay, we are above the 21-day EMA. No, we're not above the 21-day EMA, and now we're acting as resistance. If we close and cross and close above, then I would say close above, retest. We could go up even higher to around $400, just under $400, and then let's see how it reacts in these levels here. If we turn on the BB, because on high time frame it's a very good indicator, what we can see is that that is also acted as resistance. So we have a lot of that there. A lot of people don't look at these things and may get wrecked. So guys, play it safe. This is what you need to look for. Now, our DXY has become a little bit more bearish looking, right? But here's what I'm looking at. We see a higher high from the first time in a while, right there. And I mean, even if it goes all the way down and retests this Tenkan again, it's still a higher low. So we have a higher high and a higher low that's already forming. So we have to watch what actually happens with this DXY, because this could also be faking us out. But the DXY is potentially bearish because it did cross below, close below, retest, and go lower than the 21-day EMA. It's quite an interesting fact there. And then with gold, we see this really strong move up already, and that's likely because the DXY got bearish. When people trade in dollars, they usually go to metals. So this is something that's quite normal, and you should see that in silver as well. Now, looking at our traditional markets, we did have a really strong recovery in them as well, but we're looking at this as well to see, is this 21-day EMA and this level going to hold and come back down? Or are we going to eventually come down to this 618 retracement level that I marked on my chart last week? This is what we're looking for. Again, the Tenkan is starting, or the Kijin is starting to angle up. And if we continue in a sideways to bearish movement, this will start to angle down. And when they cross, it's bearish. Right now, it's mega bullish in the markets. We're above the Chiku spans, above the candlesticks. We have the Tenkan above the Kijin. You know, the only thing is we're below this 21-day EMA, which I don't like. Now, we look at the DJI. We're going to see very similar things. And the DJI, if it closes out today, and that closed yesterday as almost a 3-inch setup, but did not do it. It would have been a weak 3-inch setup anyways, because this didn't really close at the middle level. But if we see this climb higher, it might just climb towards this Tenkan, this level again, and retest it. But it did close above the 21-day EMA, so it will retest and go higher potentially. Watch for the close today. You have to wait for the close today on that one as well. Right? The rest of the coins that are in here, I mean, we can go over them, but honestly, most of the stuff in the market is bearish. We can look here and see that we don't have any really big movers today, and there's a lot of, you know, kind of sideways or really not doing too much right now. So keep your eyes on these, on the projects that are out, but today seems like quite a quiet day so far. But in the US wakes up, things could obviously change. And even on Huobi, we see similar things, except for UTK. This one is just on a face melter mission. It's been on it since pretty much the bottom, where it did 20x already from. And we have to watch this one because they are a fully diluted supply and they have some real world use cases. Let's go to TokenMetrics.com. I want you guys to look at some of the confluence between my Bitcoin predictions and what the AI and the data points of all of TokenMetrics is saying, and why this also kind of agrees with me about the fake outs. Now, these guys have some really cool fundamental and research inside of here, videos, fundamentals you can look at of Bitcoin. They lay them all out for you, which they give a grading score. And you know, you can learn a lot from all this type of information. I'm not going to go over it with you because I just want to show you all the different pieces of the puzzle that TokenMetrics uses. Like, I find it such a great resource, especially for projects that you know about already, that have been reviewed, that have full-on scores and why they got those scores, for what reason. And so it's not just like a small piece of information. There's tons about every project. What I use it mainly for, I can use it for technicals to see if they're bearish or bullish on major indicators. But you know me, I'm a trader, so I'm more focused on, all right, how the price predictions do. You know, let's see the price predictions, the past, the performance, and in the future. So if we look back, we can see that for the last year, it's been quite accurate in since TokenMetrics started doing this. It doesn't get exact tops and bottoms, but it gives you good trend indicators of where the trend might going. So for example, if you're on this day right here and you see that potentially because it's showing you in advance, right? So over here, you may have seen that it's dipping down low, like we're seeing here, and you can prepare for that, and you would have been in on that March dip. You would have been out at 9,000 and got, you know, back in when this started to show you that it was reversing up here, so you might have been back in down there. That's the stuff that's really, really cool, and they have some really interesting stuff. So what is it showing me? This could be definitely a fake out, and it's looking that it could go all the way back down to $8,000. So keep your eyes on that. I think that's possible, especially 8,400 around this level is very, very possible in the near future. I also want to show you guys the Ethereum rating as well. So for Ethereum, they have the same things, lots of detailed information about Ethereum's price predictions, fundamentals. You guys, you should definitely sign up to TokenMetrics if you like data and you like predictive AI with 57 data points. It's very interesting. You know, me as a trader, I normally don't love this type of stuff, algos, but these guys take in way more consideration than most of these, you know, trading view algos that aren't really algos. They don't really work. This is something that's been quite accurate, you know, obviously not within the dollar for dollar, but for trending, it really can help you understand where we might be going. So ETH is less bearish, just like I said at Bitcoin. I do think we can probably undershoot that though and go all the way down to this $300 level at some point in the near future as well, especially to this level right here around $330 for sure. Watch those as well. And the last thing I want to show you guys quickly is their indices. And this thing is very, very cool. Every week it rebalances a portfolio for you. So as you can see, this is the weekly mashup. And how it works is you know, you go against Bitcoin. Are you going up? Is your ROI increasing against Bitcoin or not? And this is a day-to-day ROI, so you can see how the performance of the index does. For the last year, we can also look at it. So some people that don't know how to trade and, you know, may find it to be very difficult, well, if you use TokenMetrics, you're going to beat Bitcoin. Yes, September had a little fall, so some of the stuff lost ROI, but in overall, it recovered way faster than Bitcoin has, and it's outperforming it. And so there's some people like Crypto Love that have actually done videos of him actually using TokenMetrics rebalancing and making really great profits. So keep your eyes on that. If you guys are interested, there's a link below. I will stop talking about it right now, but I do think this is something that I've been using for the last week, and it does give me an extra layer of confluence as a trader. And for indices, it's great because you don't have to think as much. It shows you what it's going to look at in terms of investments, and look at its yearly gains against Bitcoin. Data is hard to really go against. Jumping into sharing, my favo, the one I talked about on TokenMetrics yesterday, my bad for not mentioning it. Ben Bitboy, he disrupted me about RSR, and I totally forgot to mention sharing, so my bad. But yes, sharing is definitely looking like it could go into a bull flag and then break out of that bull flag. We did see this downward momentum. It seemed very, very strange that it kept going, and I kept seeing these impulse candles right here that were like pushing it up, but it was going down further, and I knew it was only a matter of time. So all the guys that are in my community got in pretty much. I started telling them I'm buying back more at 0.02 cents, put 2 cents, 2.3 cents, and all the way down I told them I'm buying more. And some of my guys got in at 0.016 and they're very happy. So look into that one as well. Sharing is doing extremely, extremely well. We also have this project coming out this week, which is RIO DeFi. Now, RIO DeFi I've already talked about once before. It's basically a competitor to crypto.com, but they're offering interoperability, more security, and more adaptability because you have parachains, which means you can use other blockchains as well and connect in with different ones. Now, the really cool part I just want to go over is how people view it. So this is more on the fundamental side. Crypto Batman said that, you know, he thought RIO was amazing, even better potentially than Mantra, even though they're partners. And, you know, there's been significant investors like Moonrock Capital, which are invested into all of these projects. So things like Ramp DeFi, Ultra, Gather, Mantra DAO, Vid, you know, and it goes on LCX, and Digibits and Dia and DeFi Pi and Utrust. So there's lots of really big projects in their ecosystem that they've been invested in. And I think that This is one of those projects, like I told you guys about Gather, I told you about Alliance Block, all have done extremely well. Alliance Block did a 70x out of the gate. I said it was a 25 to 50x. It's still up over 10x, I believe, right now. So these are ones you got to look at, and I'm not telling you to get in or not get in, but definitely look at, do your research, read the white papers, find out more about what they're trying to do or what they are doing, and this is how you're going to benefit. So now it's time for our new project of the day. Lattice Exchange is part of the DAG Constellation ecosystem. They are basically building hypergraph transfer protocol, which will let them make it fast, secure, auto market makings, financial trading solutions. They're going to have liquidity. They're going to have farming. All this stuff will be built right in, which is really awesome. I'm not going to go too far over the project because I want you guys to do the research, but I'm very bullish on this project. It has flexibility, market making, matching algorithms, and governance token LTX. They're doing a raise right now, and I will definitely be a part of that raise. I'm going to go in, just telling you full transparency. I'm going to go into this. I think that the team, Ben and Matthias, and what these guys are pushing to achieve, their connections to the Navy and the U.S. Space Force and the Air Force are, they're verifiable. You can ask them for the documents. They will give them to you. These guys are not small players and small fish, and I do think this is a very big project about to come out, and you should be looking into it yourself. Read their white paper, get some more details, and I think that you will realize why it is my new coin of the day. Ba-ba-dee-da-ba-doo. Yeah. Alright, that's it for the video, guys. Do me a favor, like and subscribe to this video. Leave some comments. Let's beat this YouTube algorithm. There's so much content I'm going to be coming out with, so let's make it worth it. Let's get the rankings up and do this all together as a community. What I covered today was, number one, where Bitcoin's going, potential fake out, and what to look for. If it's not a fake out, where will it be? I am still bearish short term. I think this is a fake out, and I've been short. Keep that in mind. Number two, where is Ethereum going? And probably going to follow the same path as Bitcoin and a lot of these altcoins that have not really done so well since Bitcoin's moved up, which also makes me kind of bearish on the market as a whole, which is what I've been talking about for a while. Number three, we looked at sharing. We looked at TokenMetrics. If you guys think that's really interesting and want to learn a little bit more about the data points and everything, there is a link at the bottom of this video that you guys can click and do your research into TokenMetrics. I think it's a wonderful platform with a ton of research and time that's been put into it. The last thing that I'm going to look at is RIO, we talked about today, and Lattice Exchange. RIO's coming out the end of this week with their first tokens, and Lattice Exchange hasn't really even been talked about in circles. I'm letting you guys know so you know ahead of the game what you should be researching, and that is basically it for today. I hope you guys have a great one. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm Coach K. Like and subscribe, and see you then. Have a good one, everyone. Fat kiddo, fat kiddo.